Part 102. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1011. I said. Brother System, you said that this time in the secret realm of the Golden Realm, there is also an opportunity to advance the Sirius sword. Xiao Xian asked tentatively. In fact, until now, he still doesn't know why the system has such great capabilities. Whenever he encounters any problem, the system can give perfect answers and even the most reasonable and prioritized choices. Just like this secret realm of the Golden Realm dynasty. Even Zhang Fulong, who issued the mission, didn't know much about these. Why does the system know everything? Is this something the system itself has known for a long time, or is it that the system is inherently transcendent of all things? Actually, this question may seem a bit silly at first. The system is like a bug. Isn't it normal to be able to transcend all things and know unusual things? But Xiao Xian didn't think so. At that time, he obtained the system on Tianyuan continent. Even if the system was very powerful, its capabilities should be limited to Tianyuan continent. It was on the ancient continent at that time. Although the system helped him a lot, he still relied more on his own strength. This is why Xiao Xian once considered whether to give up the system after he first came to Daodao continent. Until now, he realized that luckily he didn't give up on the system at that time. Now, the system can be said to have an extremely deep understanding of things on the Dao continent, some of which Zhang Fulong has never heard of. The system actually said it clearly. Even, sometimes the system will show people's emotions. This had to make Xiao Xian suspect that the system was simply a cultivator, and he was also a very powerful cultivator. On that note, Xiao Xian also asked curiously, Brother System, I once heard you say that the Sirius sword is a heaven-level magic weapon. Now, there is another heaven-level Taoist skill such as Tiankong sword technique. Should we be able to fully unleash the power of the Sirius sword, right? Good. But before that, if you want to do these things, you need to evolve the Sirius sword again and make it completely become a heaven-level magic weapon. Oh. Hear this. Xiao Xian's face also became a little more dignified. Heavenly level magic weapon. There is no doubt that if he really allows the Sirius sword to evolve to this point, the power of the sword will naturally be brought into full play. But this is not something that can be accomplished in one sentence. On the contrary, if you want to do this, you must let the Sirius sword evolve several times and finally become a heaven-level magic weapon. Figure this out. Xiao Xian's face was also serious. He knew very well. Heaven level is not just a simple word. If you want to reach this level, you must need various materials and opportunities. At the same time, it will also bring him a lot of dangers and crises. After all, the appeal of heaven-level divine weapons is too great. Even a truly powerful person in the Golden God realm would be interested in such a magical weapon. If it were revealed that he had a heaven-level magical weapon, I am afraid that the entire strong men in Wanglong City will fall into madness. Figure this out. Xiao Xian's face also became a little more dignified. The Jinyu dynasty is a weapon refining dynasty with a long history and rich experience in weapon refining. Maybe this time you can find an opportunity to make the Sirius sword a heaven-level magic weapon again, the system prompted. Thank you, Brother System. Xiao Xian also quickly thanked him. However, he was still a little worried in his heart. If the Heavenly Wolf Sword really becomes a heaven-level divine weapon, he is a little doubtful whether he can control it with his second star strength in the Blue God realm. In other words, does he need to improve his level of strength? One more little question. Brother System, if my guess is right, my Shenlong Kung Fu should be able to advance again now, right? Xiao Xian knows. If you want to improve your realm, the most basic thing is to obtain high-level skills. At present, his Shenlong Kung Fu is only at the 6th level. Although it is not low, if he wants to reach the Golden God realm, he may have to upgrade it to the 8th level. Shenlong Kung Fu has the possibility of promotion. But now he doesn't know what he needs to prepare if he wants to upgrade the Shenlong Kung Fu to the 8th level. After hearing this, the system was stagnant for a moment. It seemed that Xiao Xian was very surprised by this question. Are you not satisfied with the 6th level skills anymore? The system asked directly. Do you know that for most practitioners in the Blue God realm or even the Little Golden God realm, the 6th level skills are enough? Yes. It should naturally strengthen his body. In fact, now he is basically familiar with the operating rules of the 6th grade exercises, and can completely absorb the power of the great power in the 6th grade exercises every time. Isn't the Tao of Chaos in him much stronger than this earth-level Taoist magic? Why did the system let him practice this King Hua body technique? Isn't this just an earth-level Taoist technique? The path of chaos encompasses all things. Then, the voice seemed to be filled with relief. With a body strengthened by the way of chaos, his physical strength cannot be said to be invincible, but at least it should be much stronger than ordinary people. Xiao Xian couldn't help being stunned. I really want to talk about it. Xiao Xian also had a bit of awe on his face. The 8th grade Shenlong Kung Fu actually requires such strong physical fitness. It seems that the Shenlong cultivation technique provided by the system is indeed extremely powerful. This technique actually requires the practitioner's physical strength. Figure this out. But at the same time, Xiao Xian was also a little more curious. What he practiced was the way of chaos. Is it really so unfathomable? Could it be that, with the blessing of the dragon body pill at that time, and Xiaolu's strengthening of his body day and night, his current body is not inferior to that of a 5th level body temporer in the Blue God realm? With such physical strength, he can't withstand the impact of the 8th level Shenlong Kung Fu? After hearing this, it's just that the King Hua physical technique from King Hua Academy is a very good choice for improving your physical strength. However, if you want to upgrade Shenlong Kung Fu to the 8th level, in addition to sufficient materials and opportunities, you also need strong physical fitness. Xiao Xian's eyes were firm. If you want to improve your strength to the Golden God realm, the Shenlong Kung Fu must improve again. With your current physical strength, you are simply unable to operate the 8th grade skills. Xiao Xian couldn't help being stunned. This system knows what you are thinking. The system seemed to fall into silence for a moment. King Hua College? King Hua Taishu? Say it. Shenlong. Moreover, his current physical strength is not weak. But, my goal is not limited to the Blue God realm. So, speaking of that, does he still need a stronger body tempering technique? But he didn't expect it. Yes, the Shenlong Kung Fu can be advanced again. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1012. Brother System. Are you sure you're not joking? Isn't the way of chaos that I practice stronger than that King Hua body technique? If I can get a body strengthened by chaos, the 8th level technique should also be able to withstand it. Xiao Xian couldn't help but ask. Boy! If you have the chaos holy body, not to mention the 8th grade exercises, even the 10th grade ones, you can bear it. The system said directly. For a moment, Xiao Xian was stunned. Chaos holy body? This is the first time he has heard of this thing. In fact, he can roughly understand that there must be all kinds of geniuses on the Dao continent. These characters are either born with divine bodies or born with holy souls. Some people are even born with a nobler bloodline than others. And these things are things that ordinary people cannot envy, and there is no way to envy them. I heard the system say this. Xiao Xian can at least know that if you practice the way of chaos, it is possible to cultivate something like the chaos holy body. So, the way of chaos can really temper the body. After listening to what the system said, Xiaoxian couldn't help but continue to ask, "So, brother system, how can I practice the chaos holy body?" After he asked this question, there was a moment of silence on the system side, as if they did not expect that Xiaoxian would ask such a question. But then an explanation was given. It turns out that the chaos holy body is a body that is said to exist in ancient legends. After it is fully cultivated, it will be invulnerable to water, fire, and weapons. Even a strong person in the Golden God realm cannot break the body's defense mechanism. Besides, once the chaos holy body is successfully cultivated, there is also the ability to be reborn with a drop of blood and resurrect the soul. As long as there is a drop of blood and a trace of soul, it will be immortal. Even in ancient historical records, there are only a few people who have succeeded in cultivation, and all of these people have transcended the Golden God realm and become figures in the legendary Dragon God realm. There are even people who have transcended the ordinary realm, became the legendary semi-saint, saint, Taoist. Certainly, these are legendary things. After all, since the death of old man Tianyan, there has never been a strong person on the eastern wasteland continent that other continents take seriously. Only his 3 Golden God realm disciples were left to support the scene. Now, after hearing the introduction of the system, Xiaoxian was naturally very excited. If he can get the holy body of chaos, not to mention anything else, at least, it can be regarded as an invincible existence on the eastern wilderness continent. At that time, who else could threaten him? Wouldn't it be much easier if he wanted to explore any secrets? But at the same time, he also understood. Compared with other giant continents, the eastern wasteland giant continent is the weakest continent. On the continent, not only is the spiritual energy thin, but the soul power is fragile. Even the great road of the world is much more difficult than other great roads. If you want to achieve the holy body of chaos, the difficulty is definitely much more difficult than other continents. If possible, he still hopes to go to other continents or even to other places to practice. The most powerful thing about Hundu holy body is its inclusiveness. That is to say, any physical tempering technique you have practiced before can eventually be merged into a part of the chaos holy body. And the physical skills you have practiced will also enhance the strength of the chaos holy body. The system introduced. Upon hearing these introductions, Xiaoxian's eyes suddenly lit up. He can roughly understand. Chaos was the source of all things in the past. If you can understand the way of chaos, you can roughly understand the rules of operation of all things in the world. This will naturally greatly improve your own strength. That being said, what should I do to get the chaos holy body? Xiaoxian asked tentatively. It's very simple. As long as you understand the Tao of chaos and practice a chaos body technique, you can possess the chaos holy body. The system answered directly. However, I heard this simple explanation. Xiaoxian felt embarrassed in his heart. He knew that although the system sounded very simple, this matter was by no means as simple as it seemed. 2 things. Understand the Tao of chaos and practice chaos body techniques. This thing sounds simple, but only when you do it, you will know how difficult it is. Don't say anything else. Chaos is a mysterious existence in the world. Even Xiaoxian himself relied on the help of the system if he wanted to understand the way of chaos. Otherwise, I am afraid that it will be difficult for him to come into contact with such things as chaos in his life. Naturally, it can greatly enhance his strength. The system replied, this road is difficult, but if it succeeds, the achievement will be immeasurable. No matter what kind of avenue it is, as long as it touches chaos, it will be controlled by the attraction generated by the latter. Naturally, it is more difficult. He also gained some understanding of himself about chaos. As long as the host has its own understanding of the chaos movement can also be understood naturally. and if you want to understand the way of chaos. Xiao Xian was really a little curious, and took the initiative to ask the system, so, brother system, what should I do to get this way of chaos? And, he discovered. Enlightenment, enlightenment, still enlightenment. In this regard. In fact, although there are a lot of things going on these days, he seems to have touched the barrier of the second star of the blue god realm. In his opinion, the most critical reason why chaos can breed all things is that chaos itself is very tolerant. Maybe the final reward won't be that much. The path of chaos will even have the power to suppress these avenues. All things in heaven and earth, the great avenue of water and fire. After these days of practice and accumulation. On the contrary, if a path is too simple, he has to spend more time on understanding the avenue of chaos. Slowly breaking through the shackles of the two stars in the blue god realm. As for the system's mention of chaos movement, I'm afraid this is a more powerful movement technique than yin-yang stealth technique. That being the case, Xiao Xian slowly entered a meditative state, and the powerful power of the avenue gathered in his body. It's very simple. This is also the reason why the opponents Xiao Xian has faced for such a long time were so surprised after seeing chaos. Xiao Xian also nodded silently. He has understood this many times in the tasks issued by the system. Sitting cross-legged on the ground, he understands that the more difficult a road is, the more benefits it proves to be at the end of the road. But he has never relaxed his cultivation of the power of the great avenue, although he has always had a partial understanding of the way of chaos. In this. But as time accumulates. Speaking of which, if you can get these, you are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1013. After practicing day and night, Xiao Xian regretfully discovered that although he had tried his best to understand, he only had a partial understanding of the way of chaos. Can't go any further. He was not surprised by this result. Throughout the ages, becoming an immortal, becoming an emperor, or becoming a saint are all extremely difficult and bumpy roads. If the Tao of Chaos could be understood so easily, it would be a bit of a joke. He believed that if he persevered, sooner or later, he would be able to truly comprehend the true meaning of the Tao of Chaos. But it was a strange combination of circumstances. Xiao Xian discovered that his Kengshen realm 2-star strength seemed to have grown a lot. What surprised him even more was that with Xiaolu's moisture in the space magic weapon, his power of the avenue also contained a hint of ancient flavor. This really surprised him. To know. For human cultivators, what they are good at is just understanding the speed of the great road and the way to become stronger through practice. Compared with the powerful bodies of monsters, they will naturally be at a disadvantage. The little green body is an ancient mythical beast. Just relying on the ancient blood flowing in her body. Even after she was just born, her physical strength was comparable to that of the human race in the Kengshen realm. Don't tell me now. Since following Xiao Xian for so long, she has obtained many ancient objects and her strength has improved a lot. Now based on rough estimation, Xiao Xian also roughly guessed. Xiao Lu's physical strength should be no less than that of an ordinary little golden god realm powerhouse, and more importantly, he will definitely go further in the future. Now, he has an ancient aura in his body. This should be Xiao Lu's contribution. This will definitely be a great thing for him in the future. The next day, Xiao Xian took Lang Tu to the meeting hall of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. At this moment, in the meeting hall, in addition to the elders of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, there were 2 men and a woman wearing golden clothes. The man is handsome, and the woman is elegant and beautiful. They should be the people from the Jinyu dynasty that Zhang Fulong mentioned before. Princess Jinking. These two are the two guards from our Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, Xiaoxian and Lang Tuesday. Zhang Fulong introduced with a smile. Say it. Jin Qing and Jin Li focused their attention on Xiaoxian, but when they saw their state, they frowned slightly. They can see it. Lang Tu, who was full of blood evil aura, had reached the 5-star level of Kangshen realm. He obviously had rich experience in actual combat and was pretty good. However, Xiaoxian next to him was only a 2nd-star Kangshen realm, and he looked even more elegant and weak. Why should such a person participate in the secret realm trial? Seeing this, Jin Li sneered, President Zhang, are you not clear? The place we are going to this time is the Golden Realm secret realm. In the secret realm, there are strong men who are strong enough to reach the 8 stars of the Blue God realm. It's just 2 stars in the Blue God realm. I'm afraid that's not enough, right? I don't know, is President Zhang thinking about it? Jin Qing's words were polite, this is also for the consideration of both parties. Please be more cautious, young president. For a while. In the meeting hall, the eyes of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce fell on Xiaoxian. However, there is no other meaning in these people's eyes. On the contrary, most of them are trusting. This is not surprising. After all, Xiaoxian had shown his strength in Wanglong City before. Even Xue Qinglin and Mu Shaokong were defeated by him, so Xiaoxian's apparent strength was only 2 stars in the Kangshen realm. But the real strength? Definitely at the 5-star level of the Blue God realm, or even above the 5-star level of the Blue God realm. Therefore, they knew that there would be absolutely no problem if Xiaoxian participated in the competition in the Golden Realm secret realm. Please rest assured, both of you. I, Zhang Fulong, am willing to use the credibility of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce as a guarantee to ensure that Xiaoxian can fulfill the responsibility of guarding. Zhang Fulong patted his chest and promised. Say it. Jin Li and Jin Qing looked at each other with a little surprise on their faces. The two of them were not familiar with Xiaoxian and Lang Tu, but they still had some understanding of the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Can have some status in Wanglong City. This is enough to prove the ability of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. And Zhang Fulong could actually use the reputation of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce to vouch for the Xiaoxian? This really surprised Jin Qing. As a 5-star cultivator in the Blue God realm, Jin Qing also looked at Xiaoxian carefully. After a few glances, his eyes became more serious. This time, she saw something different. She discovered that although Xiaoxian was at the 2nd level of the Kang God realm, the 5-star Kang God realm next to him respected him very much and was even afraid of him. Like what a terrifying figure he is. Eyes don't deceive. After seeing this, Jin Qing couldn't help but look at Xiaoxian a few more times and said, so, you are really a very capable person. Don't dare to take it seriously. However, I will try my best to protect the princess. Xiaoxian's face was very calm. His mood was not affected by the ridicule of the Jin brothers and sisters just now. Over the years, there have been too many people who looked down on him because of his realm, but in the end, they were all slapped in the face. He also understands. At this moment, no matter what explanation you give, no one will believe it. It is better to remain silent. In the future, as long as you show enough strength, you will naturally be respected. Understand this. Xiaoxian didn't say much. Now, in front of so many people from the Wanjin Chamber of Commerce, Jin Li and Jin Qing couldn't say much. Moreover, with Zhang Fulong's guarantee, even if they want to say something, they still need to give the former some face. At last, they only accepted Xiaoxian and Lang Tu. Next, Xiaoxian saw that Jin Li and Jin Qing seemed to have a good relationship with Zhang Fulong, and they chatted for a while. After that, Xiaoxian took Lang Tu and walked out of Wanjin Chamber of Commerce. Along the way, Xiaoxian also gradually realized it. This Jinyu dynasty really attaches great importance to the secret realm. They actually went directly to the large and small mercenary groups in Wanlong City and recruited all the strong men in these mercenary groups. Count it all down. There were actually 20 or 30 strong men with 4 or 5 stars in the Blue God realm. What made Xiao Xian a little bit dumbfounded was that he actually met 2 acquaintances, 2 unlucky guys, Xue Qinglin and Mu Xiaokong. Only this time. When the 2 of them saw Xiao Xian, they were like mice seeing a cat, and they didn't even dare to fart. Xiao Xian didn't care. He simply ignored these 2 guys. I just waited quietly, hoping to hear what else Jin and Qing could say about the situation in the Jinyu secret realm. Not what he expected. Soon, Jin Qing drove a magic weapon and led them to a deserted gobe. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1014. You are all talented disciples in Wanlong City. This time our Jinyu dynasty is recruiting everyone here for a very simple purpose. It is to find a substance that can strengthen weapons. This substance is called Qi Ling. The weapon spirit is a translucent humanoid spirit body. It is colorless, odorless, and has no thoughts. It just exists in the secret realm of the Golden Realm. Its strength is probably around the Blue God realm. We need you all to use your own skills and Taoism to help capture the weapon spirits. The more you capture, the more rewards we will receive from the Golden Realm dynasty. Jin Qing stood in front of Gobi and talked to the disciples who came from Wanlong City. This time, it actually aroused discussion among a group of cultivators. They were able to be invited here by Jin Qing and others, and they were all the leaders of the younger generation in Wanlong City. The reason why I participated in this trip to the Golden Realm secret realm. On the one hand, it is for the various benefits given by the Jinyu dynasty. On the other hand, he is also extremely curious about this mysterious weapon spirit that can strengthen divine weapons. For practitioners, there is no doubt that being able to possess a high-level weapon will greatly improve one's strength. If the realm of the avenue is similar, a person with an earth-level magic weapon will most likely defeat someone with a mysterious level magic weapon. Not to mention the legendary heaven-level magic weapon. In the legends, when the level of the divine weapon reaches the heaven level, it almost has its own basic intelligence, which can greatly improve the host's combat effectiveness in combat. From this point of view, there is no cultivator who does not hope to possess a heaven-level magic weapon. However, heaven-level magic weapons are not only expensive, and they are basically all priceless. If an average family or sect could possess a heaven-level magic weapon, they would undoubtedly treat it as a sect-suppressing treasure. I won't show it to others easily. Even if it is used, only the sect master level figures in the sect are eligible to use it. As for young disciples like them, it is almost impossible to possess heaven-level magic weapons. This is also the reason why they are willing to come specifically to explore the secret realm of the Golden Realm. I don't know, what exactly is this weapon spirit? I heard that the weapon spirit can be sealed in the weapon. Although the weapon spirit has no intelligence, if you find the weapon spirit with the same attributes as the weapon's level and combat effectiveness can be greatly improved. A disciple with an old face said. This time, it also instantly aroused the interest of some disciples. After all, if the weapon spirit can really upgrade the weapon level, it is equivalent to letting them upgrade the weapon level for free. The Jinyu dynasty is a dynasty that specializes in refining weapons. Jin Qing is the best weapon refiner in the Jinyu dynasty. Judging from their attitude, they can be considered sincere, and it seems to be a good choice to follow such a dynasty to explore the secret realm. However, I just don't know about the weapon spirits in the secret realm of the Golden Realm. What kind of existence is it? A disciple in white with a long sword on his back stood up and politely asked Jin Qing, how can we defeat or even imprison these weapon spirits? Regarding the question of this disciple in white, Jin Qing was obviously prepared and said with a smile, "It's very simple. We will prepare 10 long swords for each of you. As long as you defeat the weapon spirits and forcibly seal them into the long swords, the mission will be completed. In this way, we, the Jinyu dynasty, will deliver the various treasures promised at that time with both hands. What do you think? Sounds good. The Jinyu dynasty is also a large sect, and we are still willing to believe in your promise. That's great. If there are only Kangshen realm weapon spirits, not to mention 10, but 20, we can defeat them." The disciples who came out of Wanglong City were basically elite. Therefore, everyone was very confident. After hearing Jin Qing's words, they all expressed that they were qualified for these words. Instead, Xiao Xian frowned slightly. When things go wrong, there must be monsters. Judging from the conditions given by Jin Qing, she only asked these participating disciples to capture 10 weapon spirits around the Blue God realm. For these disciples who have reached the 5-star level of Kangshen realm, it doesn't seem to be difficult. After all, if the weapon spirits are really dead creatures without intelligence, it would be relatively simple to defeat them. But Xiao Xian always felt it. There seems to be something unusual behind this incident. Glancing at Lang Tu beside him, Xiao Xian found that the latter also had a doubtful expression and seemed a little worried about something. This made Xiao Xian even more suspicious. You know, Lang Tu was the former leader of the Blood Wolf mercenary group. It can be considered well informed. Lang Tu, he has been able to stay in the Blood Wolf mercenary group for such a long time, and he has naturally seen a lot of dangerous things on this continent. Even he felt something was wrong at this moment. That is enough to prove. This trip to the Golden Realm secret realm is not that simple. At the moment, Xiao Xian didn't say much, he just followed Dalio and Lang Tu to receive 10 swords and entered the secret realm of the Golden Realm. Once inside, Xiao Xian felt the strong murderous spirit in it. The aura of gold and iron enveloped the entire Golden Realm secret realm. The hard stone walls and the roaring wind were as if this was an ancient battlefield where countless people had been killed. Even if you stand still, the body must constantly withstand the powerful winds of weapons that can penetrate the body. The young disciples did not dare to neglect, and quickly used the power of the avenue to protect their bodies. Jin Qing and Jin Li took the lead. With several guards from the Jinyu dynasty, he walked generously at the front and helped the team block most of the weapons Gang Feng. This move naturally aroused the favor of many disciples. At the same time, the situation in this secret realm, it also aroused Xiao Xian's curiosity and doubts. Although he has seen a lot of the world, he is no stranger to this strong weapon Gang Feng. He could tell that this was obviously the time to fight. When a practitioner uses a weapon, the aftermath caused by the impact of the weapon is very dangerous. Once it invades the body, it will cause great damage to the body. When I just entered the Golden Realm secret realm, the weapon Gang Feng of that level is enough to reach the level of battle between Kangshen realm practitioners. This is for all disciples. Definitely not a good thing. Be careful. There seems to be a bloody aura in the weapon Gang Feng this time, and it might be dangerous. Xiao Xian reminded. However, when he looked back and saw Lang Tu's appearance, he was stunned. I saw. Instead of being afraid, Lang Tu showed a bit of greed on his face, as if he had seen some treasure. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1015. What's wrong with you? Xiao Xian turned his head. After seeing the expression on Lang Tu's face, he couldn't help but ask, are you interested in this kind of aura? Hearing Xiao Xian's words, Lang Tu nodded quickly and calmed down his expression. It's true. Since I got your precious weapon last time, the blood in my body has been greatly purified. The negative energy that induced me to go crazy has been basically eliminated, replaced by a cold and fierce killing breath. Lang Tu said with a grateful face. Knowing that Lang Tu could get the benefits of that treasure. Xiao Xian also nodded. Lang Tu was the one he could rely on most for help in the Golden Realm secret realm. If Lang Tu is practicing killing one way. Now, isn't this Golden Realm secret realm the best training ground for him? So, the killing atmosphere in this place is very helpful to you, Xiao Xian couldn't help but ask. Good. As soon as I entered this secret realm, I felt a familiar feeling. Here, my understanding of the avenue will be faster. Lang Tu looked excited. Since being bound to the soul contract by Xiao Xian, his mood has never been high, and even his enthusiasm for practicing is no longer so high. His whole person is lazy. Finally, I tried to use the treasure given by Xiao Xian. He successfully got rid of the evil negative energy in his body, and thus improved his realm to a higher level. Although I am still worried about the soul contract on my body. But after such a long period of contact with Xiao Xian, Lang Tu discovered that Xiao Xian was not a very bad person. On the contrary, it helped him a lot on the path of cultivation. More importantly, Lang Tu saw a magical cultivation talent in Xiao Xian, which was definitely not something ordinary people could possess. Since I have such talent, one day in the future, maybe Xiao Xian can really stand at the top of this continent. At that time, Lang Tu also knew that the soul contract on him was not only not a bad thing, but would actually become something he was proud of. It's embarrassing to be a slave to a second star Kangshen realm person. But it would be a bit of an honor to be a slave to the master of the continent in the eastern wasteland. That's fine. Looking at the Dao realm in you, you should have reached the peak of the 5-star level of the Blue God realm. If you can use this opportunity to break through to the 6-star level of the Blue God realm, it would be the best. Xiao Xian nodded. Although the first time I met Lang Tu, I was not very happy. But he could also see that Lang Tu had some leadership skills when he could control so many desperados in the Blood Wolf mercenary group. As long as he follows me honestly. Maybe it's also a good help. At least this time, Lang Tu handled the affairs of the Mu family and Zhao family of the Qinghua Empire well. Moreover, Lang Tu was still locked by the soul contract, so Xiao Xian was not worried that he would suddenly betray him. Thank you, Master. Lang Tu quickly thanked him. However, the safety of the Master still comes first. It is better for me to follow the Master. Hearing the sound of a wolf's journey leads to a master. Xiao Xian was a little embarrassed instead. In fact, the purpose of binding the soul contract to Lang Tu at that time was just to control the Blood Wolf mercenary group. That's all. Unexpectedly, now, he has recruited a loyal guard for himself. How do you feel about this place? Xiao Xian followed the large army and asked while walking towards the Golden Realm secret realm, do you feel that it is a bit strange here? It's a little strange. Generally, secret realms are created by powerful beings. Most secret realms are full of spiritual energy, rich in species, and even some of them have ethnic groups. But in this secret realm of the Golden Realm, there is only the smell of killing and blood. There isn't even a single monster or plant. Lang Tu nodded silently and whispered, furthermore, I feel that many practitioners should have died here, otherwise there would not be such a strong aura of death. For these analyses, Xiao Xian also nodded silently. He could clearly feel that the closer he got to the central area of the Golden Domain secret realm, the richer the killing gold and iron aura inside it became. Moreover, layers of iron-gray fog rose. Everyone's field of vision has also become much smaller. You can almost only see a few meters away, and even the power of the soul is restricted to a certain extent. Therefore, the distance between the teams has become much closer. This made Xiao Xian feel a sense of crisis. So close. If we encounter some powerful weapon spirit, wouldn't the entire army be wiped out? Wanting to understand this, Xiaoxian did not dare to neglect his face, and quickly used the power in his body to slowly release the power of the soul. Observing the surrounding environment. Don't be nervous. There is a chilling field ahead, which is filled with spatial turbulence. As long as you pass through it, you will be fine. Jin Qing's tone was unhurried and he looked confident. However, there are some weaker disciples who are obviously not adaptable to the turbulent flow of space. Everyone's face was pale and their eyes were distracted. This surprised Xiaoxian even more. Obviously. In the killing domain, it not only damages the cultivator's body, but also corrodes the cultivator's soul. This is no small matter. Once a cultivator's soul is damaged, he will instantly become a lunatic without any sanity. Everyone, be careful. There seems to be a way to attack the soul in this killing realm. The swordsman in white who asked the question before warned coldly. After saying that, he also took out a magic ball from the space magic weapon, which made the surrounding space a lot more peaceful. Obviously this magic ball has the effect of calming the soul. Seeing the benefits of the magic ball, several weaker disciples also hurriedly approached it, hoping to enjoy the shade under the big tree. In this regard, the swordsman in white was quite generous. Activate the power of the Great Road in your body. Let the power in the magic sphere be released, creating a stable place for the entire team. Among the team, some practitioners with spiritual treasures also traveled across the sea to the 8 immortals, each showing their magical powers. They took out all kinds of treasures one after another to create a place for their souls to settle down. Compared with these people, Xiaoxian and Lang Tu seemed a bit unique. Xiaoxian's own soul power is extremely powerful. The bloody aura of these soul-crushing souls had no effect on him at all. Lang Tu's cultivation was based on the path of blood. Not only did these bloody auras not affect him, but it actually improved his Dao power a lot. Let him enjoy it. Soon. The behavior of the two of them also attracted the attention of Jin Qing and Jin Li. The Jin brothers and sisters also focused on them. In addition to surprise, there was also a trace of imperceptible viciousness in their eyes. And this glance was also keenly caught by Xiaoxian. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1016. Be careful. This Golden Realm secret realm is very likely not that simple. Xiaoxian whispered to Lang Tu beside him. Hear the words. Lang Tu was also stunned, and then nodded seriously. Based on such long-term contact, he also roughly understood what kind of person Xiaoxian was. According to the situation encountered before, as long as it is a decision made by Xiaoxian, there will basically be no mistakes. Even if there are, a solution will be found later. So, this time, Lang Tu will also choose to believe in Xiaoxian unconditionally. In the team, under the protection of a few people who took out magic weapons and spiritual weapons, the entire team quickly passed through the killing zone. In this area, what he could feel was that there were some powers that didn't seem so simple. In the secret realm of the Golden Realm, both Dao and Divine Soul will be vaguely suppressed. Under this kind of oppression, all the disciples felt extremely uncomfortable, and their combat effectiveness was greatly reduced. Although they are all 5-star practitioners of the Blue God realm, the strength they can display at this moment is probably around the 3-star level of the Blue God realm. This makes everyone feel a little uneasy. After all, they had all heard about the dangers of the Golden Realm secret realm before coming here. Although there are many of them. But facing a weapon spirit without intelligence, I still feel a lot of fear. Attention, we have entered the depths of the Golden Realm secret realm, and the weapon spirit may appear at any time. Just when everyone was uneasy, Jin Qing said proactively. Yes. Everyone, Be careful. Is the weapon spirit finally going to appear? Say it. The people in the team also became wary. Before, they had only heard of the existence of weapon spirits and had not really come into contact with anything of this level. Hearing Jin Qing's words at this moment, everyone was naturally a little nervous. Sure enough, he left not long ago. In the iron-gray fog ahead, black figures began to appear one after another. Among these figures, some are big men holding guandao, some are old men carrying long sticks, and some are female swordsmen with swords hanging low. Although not far apart, in the mist, it was almost impossible to see the faces of these people, and one could only feel the sharp kendo aura on their bodies. Under a dozen sharp breaths, the faces of all the disciples were a little solemn. Even Jin Li and Jin Qing, who were taking the lead, looked solemn as they looked at the figure in front of them and tightly held the weapons in their hands. Everyone, these are the weapon spirits of the second star of the Blue God realm. The strength is not very strong. As long as you defeat your opponents, you can forcefully seal them into the sword. Please don't hold back, and conquer it quickly. After Jin Qing finished speaking, he actually took a few steps back. Look at this. It seems that you don't want to compete with everyone for the weapon spirit. This aroused Xiao Xian's doubts and made him a little confused. Logically speaking, the Jinyu dynasty has wasted so much effort that even the princes and princesses were sent to dangerous secret realms. The purpose is naturally to get more weapon spirits. Now these weapon spirits are in front of you. Jin Qing, who is a 5-star in the Blue God realm, didn't take action? Is this normal? Could it be that she really wanted to help everyone and wanted others to collect enough weapon spirits as soon as possible? This idea just came to my mind. Xiao Xian quickly gave up this idea. How can this be? These people are all top leaders in Wanglong City, but they have nothing to do with the Jinyu dynasty. At this moment, no one needs to say more. It is impossible for the people of the Jinyu dynasty to lighten their burden for some ridiculous sympathy. At that moment, I saw that Xiao Xian did not take action. Although Lang Tu next to him was about to make a move, he finally restrained his actions. Although these weapon spirits of about 2 stars in the Blue God realm look quite powerful, their combat capabilities are really average. 3 times 5 divided by 2. They were suppressed by these elite disciples in Wanglong City. In the end, even the disciples who had not grabbed the weapon spirit were still a little unfinished. Thank you so much, Princess Jin. Chen Feng, the swordsman in white, had just captured the 3-headed weapon spirit by himself, and now he also took the initiative to thank Jin Qing. This scene also made many people envious. According to the meaning of Jinyu dynasty, as long as they get the 10 weapon spirits, they can get the treasures and spiritual herbs given by the Jinyu dynasty. Naturally, they want to collect them all as soon as possible. As for the other hand, knowing that the spiritual weapons in these secret realms can strengthen weapons, they also want to fight for a high-grade weapon spirit for themselves to use. This also gave the team a lot of confidence. Jin Qing led the team to walk for a while in the secret realm of the Golden Realm. Along the way, they also hunted many of the same type of weapon spirits. Is there any inconvenience? He said he wanted to work with the 2 of them. This might still improve your strength a bit. Therefore, these disciples will not hold back whether it is public or private. Xiao Xian was really curious. It can be said that as long as he randomly encounters some weapon spirits in the future, he will have completed the mission and can hand over the work. Behind the good deeds for no reason. Jin Qing just hesitated for a moment and then readily agreed. Wait until most of the disciples have dispersed. Hey. He has already captured 5 or 6 weapon spirits and has almost completed half of the task. Seeing the suspicious looks in Xiao Xian and Lang Tu's eyes. In this regard, both of them can be considered practitioners who have met all kinds of people, so they naturally know that there is never a free lunch in this world. Chen Feng smiled. Xiao Xian and Lang Tu took it for granted that they planned to search together, but they did not expect that Chen Feng from before actually took the initiative to come over. Say it. After destroying the weapon spirit here. It is fate that we all meet each other. If there is anything I can do to help, I will be happy to lend a helping hand. See, you haven't taken action yet. Maybe there is a deadly and dangerous trap hidden inside. Don't worry, I don't have any other ideas. I just think you are interesting, that's all. From his performance just now, he could see that Chen Feng was the strongest disciple in the team. Chen Feng also quickly explained. Xiao Xian and Lang Tu couldn't help but look at each other with a little surprise on their faces. Among them, the strongest one is the 3 stars of Blue God Realm. Regarding what Chen Feng said just now, he was really a little suspicious. Was there any trap in it? Why do you still take the initiative to find yourself now? Xiao Xian couldn't help but ask, Brother Chen Feng, judging from your strength, you have reached the 6th level of the Blue God Realm, right? Why do you want to cooperate with us? In this regard. To this requirement. In the end, many people in the team took the initiative to suggest improving the capture efficiency and asked to separate themselves to search for the weapon spirits alone. Just through the previous few captures. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1017. I do not believe. Xiao Xian shook his head. Traveled through 2 continents. He has seen too many practitioners. This time, it was only the first time that he and Chen Feng met, and the latter said so many intimate words to him. Naturally, he would not believe these words easily. Therefore, he responded bluntly. Regarding Xiao Xian's words, Lang Tu also nodded. When he was in the Blood Wolf mercenary group, he did a lot of dirty work. The cultivators who fell under his sword. There are not even 1,000 but 800. His ruthless and cautious character is what makes him escape from danger many times. Naturally, Chen Feng would not be easily believed at this moment. Looking at Xiao Xian and the 2 who were very afraid of themselves. Chen Feng also had a little embarrassment on his face. Finally, he looked at Xiao Xian carefully and said with a slight helplessness on his face, actually, I just want to ask for your help, that's all. Help. Mr. Chen, stop joking. Now, Mr. Chen has obtained 6 weapon spirits. He is the strongest among all the disciples and has gained the most. Xiao Xian smiled and said, on the other hand, the person we came here has empty hands, how can he still have the energy to help you? Regarding Xiao Xian's explanation, Chen Feng obviously didn't believe it. Instead, he shook his head and said, you 2 are too polite to tell me the truth. Although my strength is average, my eyesight is pretty good. You 2 should be the strongest among this group of trialists, right? Oh? How do you say this? After hearing this, Xiao Xian became interested. In order not to attract other people's attention, he and Lang Tu had never made any move, and they could be regarded as the 2 lowest profile people in the team. How come this Chen Feng can still focus on them? Still believe in it? Are they the strongest? What's the basis for this guy? For a time, both Xiao Xian and Lang Tu had a little strange look on their faces. It's very simple. The power of your soul is extremely powerful. I have reached the first stage of reality, but when I face you, I still feel incomprehensible. It is obvious that your power of soul is superior to mine. Chen Feng looked at Lang Tu seriously and continued his analysis. As for this eldest brother, the blood evil aura on his body is extremely strong. He must have obviously had a lot of human lives on his hands, right? Say it. Lang Tu's face also changed slightly. Indeed, when he was in the Blood Wolf mercenary group, in order to practice the Blood Way, he had many lives on his hands. At the same time, a lot of hatred was created. but he didn't remember knowing someone like Chen Feng. Could it be that this guy is the descendant of a certain enemy and that he is here specifically to target him today? Brother Chen Feng is joking. I'm just a second star in the Blue God realm. If I hadn't been recommended by someone at that time, I might not even have the qualifications to enter the Golden Realm secret realm. How could I be so powerful? Xiao Xian shook his head. However, Xiao Xian hadn't finished speaking yet. Chen Feng said directly, Brother Xiao Xian, let's not talk secretly about celebrities. Chen Feng, absolutely don't believe it. Your strength is only 2 stars in the Blue God realm. Speaking of which, Xiao Xian and Lang Tu also looked at each other. There was a bit of surprise on his face. This Chen Feng not only knows that he is not weak, but also knows his name. Isn't this a bit strange? He came to the secret realm of Jinyu. It seems that only the people from Wanjin Chamber of Commerce and Qingxi Chamber of Commerce know. Others, that is, people from the Jinyu dynasty will know. Why can Chen Feng know? So, this guy is from the Jinyu dynasty? Think of these joints. Xiao Xian did not say it directly. On the contrary, he just smiled slightly, nodded and said deliberately, I have to say, Brother Chen Feng, you are really discerning, and you do have some means. It would be a good thing if I could cooperate with you. That's right. If you have the strength, why hide it? To be honest, I know a very important secret in this Golden Realm secret realm. Chen Feng kept his secrets. Deep in the secret realm of the Golden Realm, there is a weapon spirit of the little Golden God realm. Say it. The expressions of Xiao Xian and Lang Tu suddenly changed slightly. Before, they have also seen the weapon spirits of the Blue God realm. They discovered that, just as Jin Li said, the weapon spirits had no intelligence and would attack everyone who came close to them indiscriminately. It is different from ordinary monsters. These weapon spirits have no senses and cannot feel pain or fear, so they are more difficult to deal with than ordinary monsters. Moreover, these weapon spirits are very good at weapons. Basically every weapon spirit can use weapon magic, and their strength is quite good. But now, according to what Chen Feng said, deep in the secret realm of the Golden Realm, there are actually weapon spirits of the little Golden God realm. If this is true, this may prove why the Jinyu dynasty sent so many elite disciples to the secret realm. Isn't this a bit difficult to deal with? Although we have some strength, it seems a bit difficult to fight against the weapon spirits at the level of the little Golden God. Xiao Xian analyzed, could it be said that, Brother Chen Feng, you are interested in that little Golden God realm weapon spirit? The purpose was revealed by Xiao Xian. Chen Feng seemed a little embarrassed, scratched his head in embarrassment, and said, yes, it is said that if you get this weapon spirit of the little Golden God realm, you can strengthen the weapon to the heaven level. Aren't you interested, Your Excellency? Heavenly weapons. It should be said that Xiao Xian is not interested in weapons of this level. That must be nonsense. However, as far as the current situation is concerned, only the 3 of them want to defeat the weapon spirit of the little Golden God realm. It seems like an idiot's dream. I advise you, brother, not to be too greedy. A weapon spirit at the level of the little Golden God must have the same level of weaponry and magic. The 3 of us cannot defeat it? Lang Tu shook his head and persuaded. In response, Xiao Xian nodded in agreement. But unlike them, Chen Feng didn't seem to care about the 2 people's suggestions at all. Instead, he took the initiative to smile and said, indeed, if the 3 of us want hard steel, we are indeed no match for that little Golden God realm weapon spirit. But, if we had known all the weaknesses of this little Golden God realm weapon spirit beforehand, is there a chance to defeat it? Do you know the weakness of this weapon spirit? Xiao Xian's eyes narrowed slightly. When I heard Chen Feng say this, he suddenly felt that someone behind them seemed to be staring at them. For a moment, His soul power was released silently. Looking around, he found two familiar figures behind the iron-gray mist. Judging from the aura of these two people, Xiao Xian quickly determined that these two people were actually Jin Li and Jin Cheng. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1018. How about it? If I can provide you with the weaknesses of that little golden god realm weapon spirit, I wonder if you would be willing to cooperate with me. Chen Feng licked his lips and said. This time, the difficult problem was thrown to Xiao Xian and Lang Tu. Both of them knew very well that if they could really obtain the weapon spirit of the little golden god realm, it would undoubtedly be a great gain. But this kind of gain must be accompanied by danger. Judging from previous combat experience, although the weapon spirits have no intelligence, but this does not mean that they are not strong in combat, but because they are not afraid of pain and death, when they perform Taoist magic, they are more powerful than ordinary practitioners. They are in the secret realm of the Golden Realm. Except for Lang Tu, everyone's realm seems to have been lowered. They simply cannot exert their full strength. At this moment, the three of them know the weakness of the little golden god realm weapon spirit. Could it really be possible to defeat the opponent? What's more, Xiao Xian still seriously doubts Chen Feng's identity and purpose. Working with this guy, naturally, he won't be so hasty. Cooperate. That's fine, but I don't know what kind of cooperation you are talking about. Xiao Xian looked at Chen Feng with interest. According to what you said, there is only one weapon spirit in the little golden god realm. Even if we seal this weapon spirit, who does it belong to? Ask this question. Chen Feng was a little stunned. Obviously, he did not expect Xiao Xian to ask such a question. But he responded quickly and replied, of course it depends on who has done more and who has made a greater contribution. Only the person with a greater contribution can get this weapon spirit. Of course, even the other two people who contributed less can still get some compensation. How about this? Sounds good. I saw Chen Feng's serious face. Xiao Xian did not refuse directly. Instead, he smiled and said, however, it seems that it is not that simple to complete this matter. I wonder what weapons this little golden god realm weapon spirit has on him. This was what he was really curious about. No doubt. If he wants to advance the serious sword. This time, the weapon spirit of the little golden god realm had better be a kendo weapon spirit, so there might still be a glimmer of hope. Sword weapon spirit. Legend has it that this is a trace of swordsmanship left behind by a great swordsman. This swordsman is Gong Sun Hea. Zhang Feng said seriously. When he mentioned the words Gong Sun Hea, his expression became much more serious. Obviously, he still respects this legendary powerful person. As for now, Xiao Xian was also surprised when he heard Gong Sun Hea's name. He never expected that Gong Sun Hea would actually leave a trace of inheritance here. Talk about it. At that time, he also obtained the pure yang sword technique from Gong Sun Hea in his tomb. This sword technique was of great help to him. If it was said that this little golden god realm weapon spirit really had the inheritance of Gong Sun Hea, he would really want to fight for it. Chen Feng is not trustworthy. However, since he wanted to set a trap, why couldn't Xiao Xian use it? Thinking of this, Xiao Xian did not reject Chen Feng, but deliberately showed an embarrassed look. I have heard of Gong Sun Hea, but I am still a little worried. With our strength, we can defeat this little golden god realm weapon spirit. What? Ask this question. Not only Chen Feng, but also Lang Tu was a little stunned. He didn't expect that Xiao Xian would say this. To know. According to my previous understanding of Xiao Xian, the latter was a very confident person. At that time, he was only a one-star Kang Shen realm, and he could control himself to death. Now, Are you actually afraid of a weapon spirit you haven't met yet? Is this still the Xiaoxian he knows? For a moment, Lang Tu looked at Xiaoxian with a little doubt in his eyes. However, in front of Xiaoxian, he didn't say much, he just looked like an honest follower, wanting to see what Xiaoxian would do next. Equally unexpected, there is also Zhang Feng, who is trying hard to persuade in front of Xiaoxian. In fact, Xiaoxian's suspicion was correct. Zhang Feng was indeed one of the traitors specially placed by the Jinyu dynasty in the exploration team. The purpose of their existence: it is to seduce those disciples who participate in the adventure to go to the depths of the secret realm and challenge the overlord of the weapon spirit in the Golden God realm. As for the life and death of these exploration teams, they didn't care at all, as long as these people in the exploration team could consume the energy of the little Golden God realm weapon spirit, it would be considered a success. As for giving them the promised treasure, that only counts if they can get out of the secret realm alive. This is also the fundamental reason why Zhang Feng specifically found Xiaoxian and said that he would take him to challenge the weapon spirit, and also said that he knew the weapon spirit's weaknesses. But what he didn't expect was, this little thought of his has been completely understood by Xiaoxian. Good. Now that we know the weakness of this sword weapon spirit, it's still worth the risk. Xiaoxian deliberately looked like he was fooled and said, then please ask brother Zhang Feng to lead the way. Let's go and have a look. I want to see how capable this little Golden God realm weapon spirit is. Hear this. Not just Zhang Feng. Jin Li Jinqing, who was hiding far away, also sneered secretly. They were a little worried at first. Xiaoxian was a mysterious guy and might cause some trouble. The results appear now. This guy is just an idiot who doesn't live up to his name. At this moment, in the secret realm, under the instigation of various traitors arranged by the Jinyu dynasty, most of the explorers walked towards the depths of the secret realm with great hope. Everyone has the idea of conquering the little Golden God realm weapon spirit. But it stretches out in the secret realm. Wearing a white robe, the tall weapon spirit shadow was sitting cross-legged, with golden light shining on the long sword. Not far from Qiling, the bones of the killed cultivators were scattered around. There is a sword mark on the skull of every bone. It is obvious that these people were killed by a sword. At the same time, as the explorer approaches, the weapon spirit seemed to feel something. Slowly opening his red gold eyes, a golden light seemed to be condensed again in the emotionless eyes. Kill. Qi Ling spit out a word. Then, like lightning, the white figure flew directly in the direction of the explorer. On the Gobi Desert, several more screams erupted in an instant. Follow Zhang Feng. Xiaoxian and Lang Tu were more cautious than before, and Xiaoxian even concentrated his soul power to the extreme. The yin and yang stealth technique is always ready to operate. The weapon spirit of the little Golden God realm. Although he is not a real cultivator, because he can use Taoism, his strength should be stronger than ordinary monsters. Therefore, he must also deal with it carefully. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1019. Above the Gobi. 5 or 6 Kangshen Realm 5-star explorers holding weapons looked frightened on their faces and looked carefully at the surrounded kendo weapon spirits. There is no other reason. The scene that just happened really made their scalp numb with fear. The kendo weapon spirit is just a sword. In an instant, he killed 3 5-star Kangshen Realm explorers, but his own aura did not even weaken at all. This makes other explorers. I even felt that my feet were a little weak. For such power, they don't even know how to contend. Is this the gap between the little Golden God realm and the Blue God realm? At the same time, What made them even more heartbroken was that the partners who originally said they had found the weakness of the sword spirit suddenly disappeared. Then we communicated a little bit. This also made them understand instantly. Been making trouble for a long time. They were all deceived by those people, allowing them to deal with this little golden god level kendo weapon spirit at the same time. Figure this out. They were all so angry that they wanted to tear those people into pieces, but now, they really were in no mood to care about that. What they have to do. How can I save my life in front of this fierce sword spirit now? The sword wind rose again, like a crescent moon, leaving a trace in the sky. A 5-star cultivator in the blue god realm. Before he could even react, his throat was cut, and blood spurted out of his throat like a fountain. The body looked like a cut log. Slowly fell to the ground. Another one died. Moreover, he was killed directly with such a brutal method, and other explorers were also surprised. Looking at each other. Their hearts were filled with fear. Damn it! I didn't expect that the gap between the little golden god realm and the blue god realm would be so big, it's simply unbelievable. A disciple holding a pair of hammers looked worried. With every attack from the weapon spirit, there will be one less explorer around them. According to this killing efficiency, I'm afraid, it won't be long before these explorers will be killed one by one. Think of this. Several explorers also had horror written on their faces. After looking at each other, they unanimously gave up the idea of conquering the weapon spirit. They each used their body skills, turned around and ran away. But before he could take a few steps, the long sword penetrated his throat directly from behind. The double hammer disciple lowered his head in disbelief. It wasn't until he saw the inexplicable extra length of the sword in his throat that he realized that he had really been beheaded. A kendo weapon spirit in the realm of the little golden god. It couldn't be easier to deal with a group of scared Kengshen realms. The sword spirit is like a hungry wolf rushing into the sheepfold. The long sword ruthlessly harvests the life of the explorer. At the same time, not far from the battlefield, Jin Li and Jin Qing were covered with an aura shielding treasure, and they watched the swordsmanship spirit massacre the explorers with expressionless expressions, their eyes indifferent. It was like watching a herd of cattle and sheep being hunted. This group of disciples is quite capable. It can consume 1/3 of the spiritual power of the sword weapon spirit. A smile appeared on Jin Qing's pretty face. It seems that today may be the time for us to conquer the sword spirit. I heard this without any emotion. Jin Li, who was standing next to her, was a little shuddering. Although they are brothers and sisters, compared to Jin Qing's cold-bloodedness and ruthlessness, Jin Li is more hesitant on some things. This is also why he is in the Jinyu dynasty. The reason why his status is far inferior to that of Jin Qing. This time, the trip to the Jinyu secret realm was nominally headed by Jin Li. He and Jin Qing cooperated to find the sword spirit. But everyone in the Jinyu dynasty knows it. In fact, the real leader of the explorer team is Jin Qing. No matter what Jin Qing said, Jin Li had to obey him. Even if he let the latter die, he couldn't have any opinions. This is also the tradition of the Jinyu dynasty. In the entire dynasty, there can only be one successor, and everyone else can only choose to be the successor's slaves, or choose to die. Good. I'm going to get ready. Jin Li didn't dare to say more and nodded quickly. However, before he could leave, Jin Qing stopped him and said, "Don't worry, there is still a team that hasn't come yet, let them consume it again." Hear this. Jin Li was obviously taken aback, with a trace of unbearability flashing in his eyes. But in the end, he said nothing and continued to hide where he was, waiting quietly. Not long after, under the crazy slaughter of the sword spirit, this wave of explorers were all killed. Afterwards, the sword spirit continued to sit cross-legged, and streams of sword energy flowed from his body, slowly restoring the energy in his body. See this scene. Jin Qing frowned slightly, a little dissatisfied. At the same time, however, Xiao Xian and Lang Tu joined forces and directly controlled Zhang Feng. Through the exploration of the soul power just now, he already knew that the so-called search for the sword spirit was a trap. That being the case, he no longer had any polite thoughts. Looking at Zhang Feng, who was tied to the big tree, Xiao Xian had a sneer on his face. Set a trap for me, Xiao Xian. Are your Jinyu dynasty thinking a little too simple? Say it. Zhang Feng's expression changed instantly. There was panic in his eyes for a moment, but the next second, he still gritted his teeth and defended. Xiao Xian, don't talk nonsense. I kindly help you find the sword spirit. What do you want to do to me? What is the Jinyu dynasty? I am not from the Jinyu dynasty. Deny. That's easy to handle. If the knife is held on your neck, I don't know if you will admit it. Xiao Xian sneered. The serious sword flew out and directly cut off a huge stone in front of Zhang Feng. Under the fierce wind, the boulder broke in response, and the scattered sword wind tore Zhang Feng's legs apart in an instant. The next second, Zhang Feng roared heartbreakingly. When he saw the serious sword on his neck again, he quickly begged for mercy. Brother Xiao Xian, spare my life. As long as you spare my life, I will tell you everything. Hear this. Xiao Xuanke and Lang Tu looked at each other. Then, the serious sword moved away slightly, signaling Zhang Feng to continue. Not as expected by Xiao Xian. Under the threat of the serious sword, Zhang Feng did not dare to hide anything and told everything. Really? Zhang Feng is one of the traitors placed by the Jinyu dynasty in the secret exploration team. There are many people like him, and the purpose is to use the life of the explorer to consume the spiritual power of the Kendo weapon spirit and create the conditions for sealing for Jin King Jin Li and the others. As for explorers like Xiao Xian, they are nothing more than expendable tools. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 1020. This. Could it be that your Jinyu dynasty is not afraid of offending all the Wang Glongqing sects? After hearing Zhang Feng's explanation, Lang Tu was also surprised. As the leader of the Blood Wolf mercenary group, he knew that this Jinyu dynasty's secret exploration trip was almost looking for elite disciples from various sects in Wanglong City. If you really follow what Zhang Feng said, the Jinyu dynasty almost planned to sacrifice all the sect disciples. This is absolutely bombing news. If the sects in Wanglong City knew that the disciples they had worked so hard to train were actually used by the Jinyu dynasty in this way, I am afraid that I will directly go to the Jinyu dynasty in anger. By the time, even if the Jinyu dynasty has a profound foundation, it may not be able to compete if faced with the siege of all the sects in Wanglong City. These are all secrets. Zhang Feng also felt a little guilty. As long as no one can return to Wanglong City alive, these things will not be leaked. Hear this. Xiao Xian couldn't help but show disgust on his face. He does know that in the fantasy world, everyone is fighting for resources and interests, and this is understandable. But it's like the Jinyu dynasty. It's really shameless to betray others for your own selfish gain. If this matter were placed on others, maybe Xiao Xian wouldn't care much, but now, this matter is placed on Xiao Xian. He couldn't agree to it. You think well, but you have found the wrong person. Xiao Xian's eyes showed a cold look. You really want to kill me? No, you can't kill me. I'm from the Jinyu dynasty. If you kill me, you won't end well. After seeing the serious sword, Zhang Feng turned pale with fright and almost wet his pants. Seeing his cowardly look, Xiao Xian couldn't help but shake his head. Using the serious sword to kill such a coward was a bit of an insult to this heavenly weapon. He winked at Lang Tu. Xiao Xian turned around and left. When Lang Tu was a member of the Blood Wolf mercenary group, he was known for being ruthless. After joining Xiaoxian, his behavior became much more restrained. Today I got another hint from Xiaoxian. Naturally, he took action directly, grabbed Zhangfeng's neck with both hands, and twisted it slightly, and the latter's neck was immediately broken. A snap. Zhangfeng's head tilted to one side. Get rid of Zhangfeng. Lang Tu also walked to Xiaoxian. At this moment, he had a lot more admiration and respect for Xiaoxian. Speaking of which, he is the retired leader of the Blood Wolf mercenary group. He should be considered an experienced old mercenary, but even he didn't see Zhangfeng's wolfish ambition. On the contrary, if it weren't for Xiaoxian's high vigilance, I'm afraid that I will really fall into the trap of Jinyu dynasty. Master, if there really is a kendo weapon spirit at the level of the little golden god, I'm afraid it's not suitable to stay here for a long time. Why don't we leave as soon as possible? Lang Tu said solemnly. No, you can't leave like this. Xiaoxian shook his head. If Zhangfeng didn't lie to us, then the people from the Jinyu dynasty should have deceived some of the exploration team members and went to the depths of the secret realm. Maybe these exploration team members have already fought with the sword spirit. If the Jinyu dynasty wants to conquer the sword spirit, it will not let this opportunity pass easily. Hearing this, Lang Tu also looked serious. He's not stupid either. He immediately heard what Xiaoxian meant. The weapon spirit of the little golden god realm is definitely a very precious thing. Such a thing is very tempting to any cultivator or any sect. Even beings like the Jinyu dynasty would not hesitate to set up traps for the sword weapon spirit. In this regard, it was impossible for Xiaoxian not to be interested in the inspiration of this kendo weapon. In this case, it is easier to guess his next purpose, which is simply to obtain this kendo weapon spirit. But if he wants to get the sword weapon spirit, Xiaoxian will inevitably have a conflict with the Jinyu dynasty. On that note, Lang Tu really needs to think carefully about whether Xiaoxian can succeed in doing this. What's wrong? Don't you have any confidence? Xiaoxian turned around. When he saw Lang Tu's hesitant expression, he immediately guessed what he was thinking. For this, he can understand. The Jinyu dynasty can be regarded as a relatively large dynasty and empire on the eastern wilderness continent. Suddenly going against an empire of this level, even a mercenary captain like Lang Tu would be a little wary in his heart. However, Xiaoxian smiled slightly. He knows. In this world, there is something called taking things by surprise and attacking them unprepared. He believed that someone in this team of explorers must already know about the conspiracy of the Jinyu dynasty. However, even if these people know these conspiracies, most of them would not dare to confront the Jinyu dynasty head-on. For Xiaoxian, this is an opportunity. The only way to defeat the strong with the weak is to use surprise. Just like now. When everyone thought that Xiaoxian did not dare to confront the Jinyu dynasty, if he could take the initiative to fight for the sword spirit, wouldn't it have unexpected effects? This is why Xiaoxian has the courage to take the initiative to challenge. Just like before, every time Xiaoxian was in danger, didn't he rely on unexpected means to win? Thinking of this, Xiaoxian also said directly, "Don't worry, Jin Li and Jin Qing from the Jinyu dynasty are only 5 stars in the Blue God realm, so they pose no threat to us." Listen to these words. Lang Tu also nodded. He knew very well that Xiaoxian was definitely the most planned and courageous person among all the people he had ever met. 2 people challenge the testers of the Jinyu dynasty. Moreover, are you still challenging the Jinyu dynasty in the Jinyu secret realm? If placed outside, isn't it equivalent to actively seeking death? However, these words came from Xiaoxian's mouth, and Lang Tu felt a little more excited. Since being defeated by Xiaoxian last time, Lang Tu also had a basic understanding of Xiaoxian. At this moment, he naturally nodded in agreement and expressed his willingness to follow his arrangements. Xiaoxian also needs to plan carefully for this. According to what Zhang Feng just explained, among their team of explorers, he was not the only traitor from the Jinyu dynasty, which meant that many explorers were likely to have been deceived into challenging the sword spirit. This is for Xiao Xian. Maybe, there might be an opportunity.